I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. I'm fired up and I'm ready to go. But I can't stop now because I'm in the flow. Yo, what up? This is your boy, man. This is your boy, Billionaire Brown. I told you I was going to be back today, right? Every single weekend, this is where we hang out. This is where we chat. This is where we have a little bit of dialogue, and today is no different. Today we talking about standards, right? Do you have standards set for yourself, or are you the type of person that just likes to go with the flow? All right? I wanted to talk today about standards. I wanted to talk to you today about standards. All right? Standards. I want to share with y'all a true story that I've never shared with anyone outside of my inner circle. All right, so y'all just gonna have to bear with me on this one, but I'm gonna tell you a true story and in regards to a defining moment in my life where standards played a major role. All right, so I was working at a collection agency in New Jersey on one side of Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and the company had gone through a huge expansion. And I know some of y'all that's watching this video, because I'm friends with some of you that was working there. Good people too. But I know some of you are going to be watching this video and you're going to be able to relate to it. You'll also remember at this time in this story that I'm going to share, you're going to also realize that we shared the same experience, but we just had different views. All right, so I'm working at this collection agency. The company goes through a big expansion. They relocate us. Excuse me. They relocate us to another building. All right, the whole company moves. Not just some of us. I mean, the whole company relocates on the other side of Cherry Hill. Right, and this is Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It was off of Route 70 for anybody that knows South Jersey or Philadelphia. All right, so working at this collection agency, they move us over. As we can see, the first day that we get there, the place is a lot larger. Our cubicles are a little bit bigger. It's a little bit more spacious. However, there was one setback. And this is the craziest thing. The reason why I don't share this story often, because it's an unbelievable experience. It's unbelievable. Like, I hope that some of the people that were working there with me, I ain't gonna call y'all names, but I know some of us are friends on Facebook, right? And if this message gets to you, I would love for you to comment on this and give me your point of view, right? So we're working there, and there were bats in the building. Like, it's like this warehouse, but it was a warehouse, but they fixed it up, I guess, you know. The place was nice. They had carpet on the floor, whatever like that. But again, the only setback was that there were bats in the building, right? There were bats in the workplace. Like, I want to say this where it's not an exaggeration. At any given moment, once we moved into this location, you would at least see I'm a low ender. You'll at least see 3 to 5 bats either hanging from the ceilings or flying around. And I promise you, and for those of you that work there with me, you know, you remember that when those bats started flying around, everybody would go to the break room. But some people would actually just stay there and continue making calls. The management would get on the loudspeaker and they would say, all right, everybody, you know, we got some bats in here. The bats are in here today. And eventually it became like a joke. And this began to it became sickening to me, right? Because at this moment, I'm remembering, I know you remember Ray Kroc, right? Ray Kroc, he's famous for saying, the quality of a leader is reflected in the standards that they set for themselves. All I remember is that very first day that we just got in there and them telling us about these bats and us visually seeing these bats. And I mean, people were breaking like to the break room when they see the bats and they flying around. It was crazy at a workplace. So I'm not going to make this longer than it needs to be. What I want you to know is that do you have standards for yourself, or do you just go with the flow? And I promise you this, 99% of the people who had a problem with the bats flying in the workplace remain there, and they continue to work there. They didn't complain. They didn't take action. All they did was they just moped around in their frustration, but they just made it okay. And every single day they kept coming back to work and coming back to work and coming back to work. And I got so fed up with this because I didn't believe that this was even legal for a workplace to have bats flying around and being in the same location. Now, whether that's legal or not, that's not for me to talk about. But what I am here to talk about and share with you is that working environment didn't work for me. No matter how much money they was going to pay me, that work environment didn't work for me. You remember we just talked about the nail that sticks out always gets hammered in, right? The nail that sticks out, it always gets hammered in. The nail that sticks out always gets hammered in. When I say that, and why that means so much to me, is because as I started complaining and as I said, yo, I'm not coming back to this place until y'all get this problem fixed, everybody was looking at me like I was crazy. Like, yo, this dude thinks he's too good to be working here. I mean, if he don't want it when they fly around, just go in the break room. They didn't understand. They looked at me crazy. They looked at me crazy because I took action. I said, yo, I'm not working here. If y'all not going to fix this immediately, I'm out of here. The nail that sticks out always gets hammered in. I'm not better than these people. I didn't have an ego. I wasn't showing that I was that was beneath me. Well, maybe I was showing that was beneath me. Ask yourself a question. If there's bats working where you work right now, are you going to continue to work there? And remember, a lot of the same people that would say that prior to this happening, they'll say, heck no, I wouldn't work at no place where I had bats in there. Heck no, I wouldn't work. And those same people, I'm here to tell you today, those same people continued to work there. They complained, but they didn't do anything about it. And if you're watching this video and you remember this experience, I would love for you to drop a comment. My name's Billionaire Brown. Thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. Thank you for hitting the subscribe button. Listen, find out what your standards are, because it's possible that you may not have any standards right now. Find out what your standards are, and if you don't have none, put something together. Write some standards down, some things that no matter what, you ain't going to tolerate this, right? You ain't going to tolerate this. You ain't going to tolerate disrespect. You ain't going to tolerate people lying about you. You're not going to tolerate being overworked and underpaid. You're not going to tolerate an unclean home. You're not going to tolerate hanging around people who have unclean homes. There's some standards that you're going to need to have on this journey. And once you have these standards, it's important that you remember the nail that sticks out always gets hammered in. But listen, you ain't crazy. They called me crazy. They called me bougie. They called me all that because I didn't want to work in an environment with bats flying around. I wanted to do the work, but I didn't want to do it in that environment. This is Billionaire Brown, and I'm signing off. Wait, how does the song go? The Batman song? Batman! Yo, so next time you see a bat, hear a bat, or you got a bat in your workplace, I want you to think of setting standards. And I want you to think about that nail that sticks out always gets hammered in. Peace.